couple weeks ago, the Mandalorian season 3 trailer dropped. Um, so we kind of discussed a little bit about that. What did you think of the trailer? I know it's been a couple weeks, but what'd you think?
It was really good. It got me excited for the whole show. I'm excited to see Mando finally back in action. A lot of cool teases for stuff to come. Like I'm excited. It looks like there's going to be like some kind of like Mandalorian war. That looks very exciting. More of Grogu's backstory. I'm always excited to see. Like just I know a lot of people complain about it, but like I'm just down for more Order 66 content. I don't care if you give me every single Jazz perspective. I just want to see more of it. I love that type of stuff. So yeah, it just seems like really good. I really just love the dynamic between Mando and Baby Yoda. I think it's like one of the best in the franchise for me. It's just I just love them so much.
Yeah, just so pure in my opinion. Just so well done, so well crafted. This hard nosed Mandalorian killer who's also got the soft side to him. It's really nice. It's really well done. The stuff I'm excited for, the Coruscant stuff really excited me. So, we're gonna incorporate the since unannounced but quietly canceled Disney Plus show Rangers of the Republic. We're gonna incorporate that into the Mandalorian season 3. That's what was really exciting to me. Um, what's going on there, and I think it's kind of maybe tie into Thrawn, um, or something else like that. Um, I also really liked the Order 66 tease. I thought that was big. Seeing who saved or who captured Grogu. I think the answer is kind of obvious to me. It might be more obvious than we're thinking. I think it's kind of a thing, and I'll ask you this, but I want to explain a little bit more. I think it's kind of a thing like we were doing at the end of the Mandalorian season 2. We're like, who's the Jedi that's going to take him? And we were saying literally every name but Luke Skywalker because we didn't want it to be Luke. But Luke Skywalker was the most logical choice. I remember we heard like Quinlan Voss, like
Yeah.
insert any Jedi who may have been around during that time. So I want to ask you, who do you think it is that saved Grogu
Yeah,
or captured Grogu or whatever?
well, I mean, it looks like maybe Anakin. I don't know why he would spare Grogu. What's it called too? I do think too they shouldn't have shown that in the trailer. That's obviously Anakin cutting through the door. That would have been such a big tease. Nobody reported that Anakin's going to be in this show. So why would you show that in the trailer when that's like a 99% chance it's Anakin? I don't think they should have shown that. But yeah, I think it's either Anakin or unnamed Gulp Shidio number two.
um, Gleb Shido would be weird at that moment. I definitely think it's Anakin. Um, now I don't know. I've kind of tousled. I think Anakin will probably try to kill Grogu, but we do know that Palpatine eventually goes to the Jedi Temple. So my thinking is that maybe Palpatine, being the genius that he is, was like, "Hey, don't do it, not him. Want to save his blood." And Palpatine could like not explain it fully, and it'd be a really cool tie-in because again, as somebody who's not a huge fan of the sequels trilogy, it's like frustrating how we kind of did not plant this seed of Palpatine having Exegol and all of this, and then it's kind of been a after um recon type of thing where we're like,
They say in the
you're
comics right now that shows all Palpatine was here all along on Exegol. They're doing it in the comics. They're trying to fix it.
right. That's yeah. I think it'd be interesting if like you had like that prequel flashback where it's like, oh, you can start to see the seeds of Palpatine planning for the eventual fall. Like even when Anakin turned, he planned for the eventual fall. That would be really cool, and that would make a lot of sense. It'd be a really cool tie for that story, and then also our own story with Grogu and Mando to have that connection, and then kind of tying back to the Bad Batch. Mount Tantus was introduced at the end of season 1. We haven't seen it yet in the Bad Batch, so maybe that's where Grogu went for a little bit. We know Grogu's past is dark, so I mean, I think it's logical it's Anakin. I think it's logical that Palpatine took him. I think it's logical that the Empire had him, was probably grooming him maybe to be an Inquisitor or even, take his blood for a longer period of time. And again, we'll get that all answered, but I think it's just logically it really has to be Anakin. or it has to be Palpatine, one of the two. I don't want it to be Mace. If it's like Mace Windu, I would be upset. I'd be frustrated.
If it's Mace Windu, I'm not saying I'm gonna be excited because I'm biased or anything, but like I might be a little bit excited. I'm just saying,
I would be
stupid. It would be stupid, and I would probably be mad at it after thinking about it for too long. But like, I just want more Mace Windu content.
I would be excited. I would be excited, but like at the same time, wait, really? Why? Why? Just everybody now? Just
It would be,
everybody lives?
it would be just so lame. But like I said, I'm just desperate for Mace Windu content. I'll take anything at this point.
Really, like the thing is like, if this was, I don't know, like 6 years ago, before they decided to bring up longer than that, before they brought Maul back, even if they decided to do that, then it'd be like, oh yeah, because that's like Mace Windu out of all of them is the most logical one to live.
Yeah,
Like Maul should not live. Boba, no. Like Mace Windu was electrocuted and
yeah.
fell out a window, and we know Jedi can brace their fall. So like, he's the most logical one, if I'm being honest with you.
But yeah, no, they've brought in too many people back, and too many people have survived. It's like now it just feels like too many people have survived too many things from to
Yeah,
not survive. It's like the whole thing with Qui-Gon now. Like Qui-Gon died to one stab. Man, everybody can survive a stab nowadays. Like they can just
I
walk.
know, man. Qui-Gon's lame, bro. Qui-Gon is lame, man. He he got dusted, and he everybody else now who gets stabbed is is fine. Is
Some
just
people can
fine.
go for round two, like Riva. She can go for 2 rounds.
Yeah, she can go for 2 rounds, and she's fine. Especially and as a youngling, as like a 12-year-old, just stabbed, and all those other Jedi just died. And then there's a little girl who lived. That's wild. Um, hey, it's Star Wars, man. I also really enjoyed seeing other Mandalorians as well. Um, I love the Mandalorians. I think they're very cool, very unique. Um, and yeah, it was really cool to see them all. And I agree with you about this sort of divide we got going on with Mandalore and the Mandalorians. It seems like we had like what's Paz Vizsla on Navarro, maybe trying to find Mando, something like that.
They definitely
Um,
has Vizsla's role a lot. I was actually kind of surprised with that. Like he looks like he's going to be more prominent this season.
yeah, which I like. You know, he's related to Tar Vizsla and even probably Pre Vizsla.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all really interesting. Um, what's his name? Babu Fricks. The Babu Fricks were cool to see again.
Yeah.
The Babu Frick being the best part of the Rise of Skywalker. Um, yeah, it's true, man. Come on now.
Saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
um, that was cool to see. Obviously, I think the trailer revealed a lot more than I thought it would. Usually, like Mandalorian trailers are known, especially not to reveal a lot. But the Order 66 thing I thought was big.
They shouldn't have shown that. I'm like kind of sad that they showed that.
Really,
Yeah,
really, yeah.
one of my favorite memories of Star Wars is me at 3 a.m. in my basement watching Luke Skywalker appear on The Mandalorian. And so to see that just like with Anakin, I would have been like freaking out. Like I said, nobody, no trade, no source, no scooper has reported Anakin is going to be in this show. So they just say, yeah, might as well leak it ourselves, guys. It's just spare us the trouble just in case.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. That is funny. That is funny that yeah, the one time nobody leaks it out is the time that they would they would actually put it in their trailer.
Yeah.
What else? There was big. Oh, Carl Weathers. Oh, go ahead.
Battle droids were in the trailer for like a minute when Mando's in that droid workshop. And that's
Battle droids.
like
Yep.
actually like physical battle droids in live action.
That was cool. That was really cool. Grief Karga.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers with the drip. I love the drip. He's got drip now, and Navarro looks great. Um,
The real question is, will Cara Dune have drip in this season?
I don't know. What do you think they're gonna do about that, man? What do you honestly think?
Oh, Griff Carson. Oh, Cara Dune went to go. She went to go help the New Republic out. But she promised she'll be back on another mission soon, and then we'll find out later on the show that she died helping the New Republic. And we'll be like, oh no, that sucks. Okay, next character now.
I don't know what they're gonna do because like she is like Cara Dune was like a big part of the show and was probably gonna be a bigger part because she was gonna tie in with the arrest of Moff Gideon. Um, Now they could do like a weird thing where like when Gideon eventually escapes because we know he's gonna escape, that he kills her, but we don't see it. But that would feel cheap. You know what I'm saying? If you'd just be like, what?
I doubt they'll
Why?
recast though too. Like it just seems like they're in a weird spot, like where they won't recast, but then they
Uh
get
huh.
like off-screen death would just feel kind of cheap because like we like this character. We may not like the actress, but we like the character right now.
Yeah, right. The character was. I thought that I like the character. Yeah, you know. Um, yeah, it's just a really weird spot for them, and it's you're gonna have a hard time pleasing whatever audience it is. If you kill the character off screen, people are gonna be pissed, or people will like it. If you don't do anything, people will be pissed, and some people will like it. If you over adjust it, they're in a bad spot, so they got to do what they think's best. These type of situations suck. You know, it sucked. Everybody handled it wrong. Gina handled it wrong. Friggin' the company. It's a mess. You know what I'm saying? It's just tough.
Yeah.
So like, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, you could just. I think the easy thing to do is just say, she's off somewhere. Kind of just leave it at that. Makes it the best. I think that works the best. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see with that. Um, Obviously we see Mandalore. That's really Mandalore in live action. That's I never thought I'd be saying those words
Yeah.
when I first started in the Clone Wars.
I like to how it seems they're gonna try to tie back to early season Clone Wars Bo-Katan with this. I hope they do that, like show like more for violence side, like she was in Clone Wars when she was with Death Watch. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it would be really cool to see a more like vicious and more terroristic Bo-Katan. Not this, she tries to be a diplomat, a uniter, but I don't think inherently that could be her
And
because I think. Oh, go ahead.
I said never works out for her.
Right, right. And I also think that was her sister's role. I think that was Satine's role. Satine was a diplomat, was the one to unite people, the politician. Bo-Katan was the warrior, never meant to really unite people, was there to fight. Um, so that's what I think on that. And yeah, there's not really. I do want to ask, with the when Carson Teva, he says there's a problem out there. He talks about there being a problem. Do you think he is referring to Thrawn, or what do you think he is referring to?
I don't know if it's Thrawn because I feel like Thrawn is still like in like the crash somewhere in the outer rim.
Hmm.
I don't know if he means like just a major Imperial resurgence, and then when Thrawn comes back, he'll take over that Imperial resurgence.
Yep.
Uh, it could be Battle of Jakku related. I don't know where Battle of Jakku falls in the timeline. This might be too late, actually. I think Battle of Jakku already happened. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
I think the Battle of Jakku was like we don't know exactly when the Mandalorian timeline. We know it's around 5 years.
yeah,
So I think it's probably post Battle of Jakku. I would assume. Yeah, I'd assume so.
yeah. So I don't know. I know a lot of people are saying Yuzon Vong. I don't think it's Yuzon Vong at all. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just gonna be a big Imperial resurgence. It could be Thrawn, but I just don't think it makes sense. I don't know even know why they do Thrawn before Ahsoka. I feel like Ahsoka is a good place to end Thrawn.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I don't think it's Thrawn either. I think it's maybe hinted towards the Imperial remnant that eventually becomes the First Order.
Oh,
Um, I think it could be that. I think what's interesting is Thrawn's. I don't think Thrawn at all will be working with the Empire.
oh really?
I, no, yeah, I think Thrawn's on his own now.
I think he could do so. I think that he might do something like highlight because he has some Imperial forces now. I think they'll kind of do like a hybrid between the Chiss and the Imperial army. Or kind of like they like merge kind of those two together because he already has some Imperials on his side already.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I could see that, but I think like I wouldn't call him Empire. I would say he has Empire people who he's converted to his own ideals. I think Gideon is a part of like Palpatine's. I don't think Gideon knows necessarily about the resurrection of Palpatine, but I think he he was so high ranking up, he knew kind of about like contingency plans and stuff like that. So I think Gideon, I don't think Gideon himself will be part of the First Order, but we'll start to see that Gideon's resources will be delved out into the unknown regions that eventually becomes the First Order. So I think there'll be almost like even like an inner fight. Like I think Thrawn and Gideon may even fight at one point because they're going to be two. I wouldn't even call Thrawn a fascist. I think Thrawn's. I mean, Thrawn is not. Thrawn has some fascistic ideas, but like Gideon's definitely a fascist working with the Empire. Um, Thrawn has some fascistic ideas, and Gideon's a fascist for sure. So I think those two will go up against each other even at some points, because I don't think they both may have Empire people working for them, but like they see things totally differently. I don't know what you think about that.
Maybe they could bring that random dude who was in the Rise of Skywalker who's like, oh, yes, my Emperor, I will serve you just like I served you before. That one old dude in Rise of Skywalker. Maybe he'll come.
General Pride, who they
Yeah,
made like really important, and nobody knew who
yeah.
he was.
Nobody knows who he is. He hasn't been in any books, no comics, no nothing. Everybody forgot about General Pride.
Yes.